All right, we are live. Thank you, everybody, for being here on a Monday evening, a live stream on a Monday evening. So many things going on, so many emotions, and so much gratitude also for you guys stepping up and being a part of the Adventure with Purpose. Sam and Dan and I we were really talking today about that and just the whole movement in what it has become. And we have often said, AWP is not Sam, it's not Jared, it's not Dan. It's that AWP is everybody that's here and is a part of this. So you here are AWP. So thank you for that. And those of you that were able to step up financially and help us for this upcoming trip that we have that we're leaving we have to be at the airport at like 5:00 in the morning. We thank you for that. But one of the things I wanted to, touch on this evening, we're just going to be 30 minutes here, and then we have a live stream that we're doing over with Profiling Evil this evening as well with that one, because we're going to be talking a little bit more about the Randy Leach case. And Mike also, in fact, let's just bring Mike on real quick. He's missing.
He's missing. We got
there he is.
Mike.
All right.
Mike just came back.
Yep. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show this evening.
Yeah, nice to be with you.
We're going to be over on your show in a few minutes, and then I was also going to lead into how you're going to try to talk us into a possible murder case, which has our people know that we don't deal with murders, but we're going to hear you out on it before
we got to try.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to talk about this evening, especially why I wanted to bring you into this, Mike, a lot of our viewers, I want to say like 80 or 100,000 of them, they saw how emotional I was the other day, and I want to talk to you. I mean, you've been in the force, you've been doing this, and some of the stuff that I want to talk about is the moment Dan did an incredible job putting together an incredible edit for a cold case that we were not able to solve. And I can't say which one it is yet because there's actually some safety concerns with us going back to it. But the good news is with that one, we actually have Kevin from the NOMOC is going to be coming back. For those of you who don't know Kevin, the NOMOC experience, he's actually retired in law enforcement, also retired the Coast Guard as well. So he has a background there to help keep us safe. In addition to that, Rock the Rock is going to be joining us. And we also have Jacob from Chaos Divers that's going to be meeting up on this one as well. So, while Adventures of Purpose, sure, I started it, but, it's whoever comes together at that moment in time. We all, you included, you're all Adventures of Purpose. So I want you guys to know that and how much it means to us. But anyway, on that note, Mike, you saw the live stream from the other day, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And so
I too was caught up in your emotion. In fact, we had a chat afterward. That was, I think it's good for folks to see that these things really do impact people, that it's not just something you do because of some goofy reason. You're invested personally in it.
Yeah. And with that, I think that what really got us is that, Team Waters, Tammy and Dennis, they do Sonar, and you guys have seen them on our show before. One of the things that they said, if you missed it by a couple of inches or a couple of feet, you might as well missed it by several miles or several hundred miles. And that's really what happened on this one. Right now, we cannot yet share the footage, but we will, I promise you, we will share the footage as to what Sam and I saw. And Sam, I kind of want to bring you into this. And, Dan was editing it, and I'll get Dan's take on it in just a minute. But the way that it hit me was Dan and I, we were in the boat. We were looking at the sonar. We thought we put you on the spot. You went down. I thought that you were on the spot. You thought that you were on the spot. But when I saw the footage being replayed, knowing, hey, you should have been in 10 feet of water. But when I saw you stand up and you're like, nope, it looked like a piece of ag equipment. It was rectangle. I called you immediately. I sent it to you, and kind of let's give you, because everybody heard from me the other day. So kind of give me your take and what went through your mind and emotions that evening and your lack of sleep, and kind of go down that road.
Yeah, so me, being the one that dove on it, Jared and Dan, they sonar, they dropped the magnet. I followed the magnet line down, and the
which we knew was in some brush. And I said,
yep. So I went down.
Go down 10 feet from there downstream. Where was your instructions?
Yep, correct. Yep. So I went 10 feet downstream. I ended up finding a something that was kind of like the shape of a box, you know, and in the back side of the box there was like a board going across it. To me, it looked like some kind of agriculture, something or other. Definitely not a car. You know, so there, you know, I was confident, you know, like, okay, this has to be it. You know, this is 10 feet away. This is what I'm thinking. You know, so I jump up and I'm standing on it, and it's actually, I think I'm about, my chest is out, out of the water
in the video.
In the video. So my chest is out of the water, and I say, hey, I'm standing on, you know, the shape right now. And so at that moment of time, you know, without me seeing the sonar and without seeing what they saw, it matched, you know, the description, you know, of the, you know, that rectangle shape. You know, so in that moment, I was just like, all right, you know, this, you know, keep it moving. You know, the particular area, there were some homes right along the water, so it would make sense that maybe some debris would be thrown in there. You know, so it made sense to me, like, oh, this is, you know, I mean, it's not out of the ordinary that would be there. Anyway, so then when you sent me the text first, and you said, you know, you sent me the text, you know, you showed me the pictures. I instantly, you know, after seeing it, I was like, yeah, that's not what I saw. You know, and so in that moment, it was just that instant, like, draw, you know, we have to go. I mean, there was no questions in my mind as far as us returning. You know, I'm grateful to you guys that you've made it possible that we can return, you know, expeditiously, and we could knock this out. I had already gone to sleep. You know, I went to bed. I went to bed at 8:30 that night. So I'd already been asleep about an hour and a half, and Jared texted me, and I kind of woke up out of my sleep, and I glanced at my text, and I said, oh, I just sat up right away, just right in bed, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I called you, and we spoke. But yeah, it was just that initial, like, oh my goodness, we have to go back. But like you said, you know, or like Dennis had said, you know, if we miss it, you know, by 3 feet, we might as well missed it by 3 miles. You know, and just, yeah, so it was just a very hard night. I didn't get much sleep at all. Just wondering, you know, how are we going to get back? We need to raise some funds. How are we going to get our equipment? What are we going to do? It wasn't a question of if we're going to do it. It was like, okay, now how are we going to make this happen? You know, from me to you guys, also, I want to say thank you, you know, for allowing us to fly out tomorrow. That way we can, you know, knock this out, and, you know, for the family, and, you know, for just, you know, the greater good, and for peace of mind. You know, and so just, I mean, the next day, you know, Jared was on it, you know, with the live stream right away, as soon as, you know, it was a reasonable time to present it to you guys. I mean, he was right on it, and you guys came through, you know.
Not only did they come through, but holy moly,
in a big way.
You know, and let me point this out and say thank you. I mean, you know, we laid it out. We did the finances on it. We're like, you know, in order for it to, you know, to turn this, to take care of, you know, the other guys that are coming in, to take care of hotels and, you know, flights for us and whatnot. You know, we had a budget of 4,800. You know, and you guys could have stopped there. You could have said, like, because we've been updating the count on this. You know, you guys could have said, oh well,
but you guys kept going.
Yeah, they've raised enough funds. But with that one, I mean, here's the thing. You guys know this. I mean, we're going to do everything, you know, not just for this family, but families moving forward. These funds are going to be used for a good cause. And so we thank each and every one of you who have stepped up. And those that have not, I want to be very clear. Just by you being here, by liking, subscribing, you know, commenting, you know, sharing, you know what, your support, you are Adventure with Purpose. You know, we all are. This is open source investigations. And with us circling back around, it, you know, would not have been possible without you for us to get on this right away with the family. I have a couple of fears with this. You know, one is, you know, you saw the image. It is 6 by 10 by 12 or so in size, which is the same size as this vehicle that we're looking for. We have tire. I guess the biggest thing that really bothers, you know, Dan and I on this, especially searching in the boat, and you, is that there were tire tracks going in. No tire tracks ever coming out. And we also had the sheriff dive team that was in there looking, and they never found anything either. So they missed it. We missed it. But we after reviewing it, we have
the shape.
We have the shape. But we don't yet have the hands on it to let all of you know, yes, we're able to solve another one, or you know what, we're now able to check this one off. So for that, we thank you. But Mike, this is where I want to dive in with you. You know, my emotional roller coaster on this one, from losing sleep that night, to the doing the live stream, to being pissed off with some of the trolls, with you guys being incredible supporters with the, screw the trolls. But tell me about, Mike. You've been in this really long time, and I think that a lot of people are worried about our balance, and they're especially worried about, Dan here being the youngest of all of us, and Dan is actually not going back because he needs balance in his own life as well. He was on the road, and he has, personal life, and a girlfriend that, he came back and he quarantined, and he wasn't even able to see his girlfriend once he got back. And so, so I guess one of the things we want to talk about is, the balance, but also, Mike, is the missing it and acknowledging that something was missed and going back and getting back on that. And Mike, I'm just going to quit talking now.
No, I'm so proud of you guys. I mean,
I
number one, I don't believe that, but number two, I am just so stinking proud of you, because you worked through an investigative lesson that a lot of people don't ever learn. And that is, sometimes you miss it. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes the bad guys win, but you don't stop giving it everything you got. And I was one of the few privileged people to watch the video you're talking about. And I appreciate the fact that you shared it, and seeing the look on Dan's face when that magnet connected the first time. And I remember even you working through the brush versus whether it's really metal you're connected to. And then Sam, you going right there, you're close, but in space terms, close didn't work on this one, and then you went back and you saw something, and a lot of investigators might just say, nah, been there, done that, and move on. But it impacted you, and it caused you to reflect. And you know what? It's not very easy to say, I missed it or I was wrong. I do it all the time. And I always think of that great statement, that it's the strong man that stumbles that really is the one that keeps standing up, that keeps getting up every time he's knocked down. And so I number one, I want to say to you guys, I'm really proud of you. Number two, I'm really glad that you recognize that you can become too emotionally invested in a case, that sometimes the emotion will even cause you to miss really important things. And, we're going to talk later tonight, even when we go and talk about the Randy Leach case, Jared, about the difference between evidence, probability, and emotion. And you're going back and you're solving an answer. You're saying, well, one way or another, we're going to resolve whether this was there or not. And, I just marvel watching you, because when you pointed out that shape, I can see a fish on a fish finder, but you guys can actually see wheels. And I just think it's pretty amazing what you do.
And I really do, hope that what we did see is wheels. I do hope that we are able to solve this one for the family, because, for me, at the end of the day is, I'm coming in and I'm looking in these areas with also saying to the family at the end of it is, I have cleared this area 100%. I'm putting my stamp of approval on here. And in this video, I did not 100% put my stamp of approval on it. I said, I'm 99.9% sure in this area, but I still have a little bit of question. And that was even before we reviewed the footage on this one. So, something with me just wasn't quite sitting right with this one. And Dan, why don't you jump in here at this point in time? I mean, people want to hear from you as far as, your emotional well-being to begin with, but also, your feelings on that day as well, us being there, but then also you editing this. I mean, you spent more time with the footage than anybody.
Yeah, if you want to mute yourself really quick, we were having really bad feedback a moment ago. Okay, cool. Yeah, so with this one, it was really, first of all, just getting back from the Q1 trip, just finding that balance in life is really something I'm working on right now, just figuring out how to still have a life, because I've become so dedicated, and I'm so honored to be using my skills for AWP, and it's just like such an amazing thing I've become so captivated by. But I also need to maintain some of my connections and relationships outside of AWP, so I have like a support system. But as far as this video goes, in this case, this video is definitely, it's a longer one of our it's like a 45-minute episode, and it's a very extensive search, a very interesting story. But as far as where you guys are heading tomorrow, it's just the story behind the tracks going in. There's actually a scene in the video, I think we said a few times, it's just when we clear that area or claim to clear it, we're just, where did the tire tracks come from? Because some anonymous tipster called into the police station and told them to go there. That's correct, right?
I have to unmute. You know, and with that, Dan, I mean, that last scene with the camera focused on you with the, but there were tire tracks. I just don't get it. You know, and with this target being in the perfect location, 10 feet of water, you know, 10 feet out, 25 to 35 feet down from where the tire tracks were out. I mean, everything just lines up with the, again, I don't know if it is or not, but it's one of those things where when we all saw it, you know, we had to go back. And the way that the bank is as well, I mean, it went up fairly steep and fairly quick. And so if we have, and if I can try to explain the sonar and the image that we were seeing, and in fact, do you have the screenshot that I had by chance?
I might have it on my phone.
I don't know how to put it in here quickly, but
I'll see if I can find it.
yeah. Okay. But so what we have is we have like a bank, okay, is on this side of it. And we're shooting sonar from this side of it. So if you think about, you know, a flashlight being shot from this angle, a silhouette is going to light up the back side of this. But the thing is it wasn't lighting up the back side of this because the bank was so close within a couple of feet. It didn't give the sonar the ability to cast a shadow. Yeah, that's not coming up like I wanted to. It didn't give the sonar the ability to cast a shadow like we wanted to. And Dan and I mean, we really, like, this is a target, but is it our target? And so as we kept going around it, we went from side scan to 360 to, you know, dropping the boat from up here to the side of it to the back of it. And one of the images, you know, actually gives the shape of, all right, well, here's the hatchback portion of it, here's the hood portion of it, and it goes down because now we're shooting from downriver at just the right angle that, as if I can explain this properly, you know, the light is hitting it with nothing, no hillside behind it. So it was allowing for that shadow that we're looking for on sonar to actually cast like we would normally see. You know, a newer car, you know, is going to be a lot different also showing up on sonar than a vehicle that's been down there for, you know, 10 or 15 years. You know, being in the river, having a flood come through in the past year as well, as we understand. Yeah, so that's going to be with Dan and I kind of casting. So we're to the, let's just call this north, south, east, and west. So, you know, our boat right here is to the northeast just a little bit. And that bank right there, okay, yep, so that bank right there, that our target there, go ahead and pause it there. Pause, all right. So can you put your mouse over it by chance? Yeah, so that's our target there. And so to the left of that, or to the west of that, is the bank that is already going up. So it doesn't give the ability for the shadow that we're looking for. You know, sonar and, you know, is a weird, difficult thing. You know, you can be right on top of a target. You know, we just ended up on the Antonio Lopez, you know, case, to where we ended up identifying right where it was at after the sheriff's boats had already been over it. I'm going to tell you, you know, 50, 80, 100 times with their sonar, and they were not able to identify it. Even them taking an hour and a half after we identified it, we had our marker on it. They had us take our marker off of it. And they spent the next hour and a half and could not locate it for the dive team that came in. And that's a whole video that Dan is working on right now that will be out on Friday. So, you know, so you'll see how sonar can be a tricky thing. And this, me being able to put our stamp of approval on it, is a tough thing to look the family in the eye and say, I've cleared this area, you don't have to look here anymore. Right now, I cannot say that. And putting that phone call in also to the family, was I don't want you to get your hopes up, but please know we're doing everything we can. And because of the incredible support of Adventures with Purpose, all of you, we're able to go back almost immediately. And by Wednesday, we're going to have answers for you. We're going to have answers for the family, and we'll share those answers either Wednesday, depending on how things go. If not, we'll share that by Thursday for sure with everybody.
I read a lot of your comments that were coming in the other night, and the concern that many of the people who are watching have for the three of you, and the impact that these kinds of cases have on it. And recovering bodies is not easy on emotion. And also when you get involved with these families to the level you do, I watch where you go and you have dinner with them and you stay sometimes in their yard or in their house, or you create this relationship that it's really difficult to separate yourself. And it really is one of those things that you have to become better at, where you acknowledge in your own soul that their problem is not your problem, but your job as an empathetic, caring human being is to do everything you possibly can, but you can't carry their load and their pain and their emotion. And so if I had any counsel for the three of you, is that you do find that balance in your life. And for some people, it's religion. For other people, it's watching a ball game. Whatever it is that helps you kind of find that balance is really critical. And realize, again, you can't carry their backpack. This is theirs to carry as a family, unfortunately. But you can certainly make the load lighter by being there. And that's what you guys do. And I'm just really proud of you. You're just doing great. You're on mute there, Jared. It's a difficult thing for you, I know, but Sam, help him out.
Yeah, there we go. We're unmuted again.
I just told him.
Yeah, I'm running with not everything here because we're already like packing up and getting ready to go for tomorrow. So
yeah, thank you for sharing your words, Mike. We appreciate your insight. Thank you.
You guys mean a lot to me. I just marvel at what you do. We actually, Sam, we didn't have time to call you or Dan this morning, but I put Jared on the phone with a sheriff on a military person who drowned in a lake, and we talked through that. I mean, it's been many decades, and yet they're still concerned and still wanting to help out. And that's really the model that what you do and what law enforcement does and others is, that we care as human beings, and you guys are really to be commended for that. Just find the place where you can realize it's theirs to carry, not yours.
Yeah, thank you. So I appreciate that, Mike. With you, we're actually going to be jumping over onto your channel in a few minutes as well. In 7 minutes, you're going live. So we're going to be talking about Randy Leach this evening, as I mentioned at the beginning of this. And then you also have a case that you would like to present information to us, that you would like to also convince my wife that it's not a dangerous thing, that we can come help you out. I know nothing about the case.
We'll see how this goes, won't we? And we have a really cool guest that we're going to bring on right at the beginning too, that I think you're going to really love coming. And so Sam and Dan, I hope you're available to come over and say hi, because this is a young superstar, a future rock star.
Well, Sam's at my house.
I'm hanging.
He has nothing he can do. So
yeah,
I'm captive.
Yeah, so we're going to bump you. I appreciate everything you have to say. I know we'll
see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, I know we're going to talk a lot more on this as well, on the whole emotions, because I mean, this has been the most emotional I've been all week, and it's really taken a toll on me, and it's not over yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk more on that one. Mike,
hang in there, fellas. We'll see you in a minute.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. A lot of you, additional new members this evening, as well as financial contributions. I appreciate each and every one of you guys on that one this evening. My head is just pounding, so please apologize. I'm not going to go through each one of those. Let me just take a look at, and Sam, if you want to just talk, and in fact, Dan, if you kind of want to jump in as well, if you have any additional thoughts. I'm going to look at some of your comments here and answer any of your questions right here.
Are you going to shout out to the new members you said, or no?
Oh, no, I won't have time to talk to all of them. So I appreciate all the new members, and I appreciate those that are donating as well as tonight. So
as far as while he's doing that, as far as finding balance, I had a last couple, I guess 10 days or couple weeks or 2 weeks, since the trip. I mean, it's been great. I spent time with Renee, spent time with my kids. Spent time with my mom. We had snow. It snowed. I made a snowman with my kids. Had a snowball fight. Went and stayed somewhere with Renee. Actually, went scuba diving just for fun. That was really awesome. So I had a real nice 10 days, couple weeks, to kind of get right, and feel peaceful, and then when Jared called and told me what was going on, and it's part of integrity is going back, like he said, you gotta clear it 100%. Until you check all the boxes, you can't live with yourself. And so I'm very grateful to you guys once again. Thank you. I'm glad that we're going back tomorrow.
Two things I'm seeing come through. One is, what is the link to Profiling Evil? So if one of the mods can jump in here and put a link to Profiling Evil's live stream that's taking place in 4 minutes that we're going to jump over to, please do that. Another one, what was the other thing I just saw? I don't know. See, my brain's already shot, so I've already missed out on the other thing I was supposed to mention as well.
What about you, Dan? People probably wonder what you're doing to find balance.
Yeah, so finding balance, it's really been a matter of biking, skiing, just spending time in the outdoors, as well as just stepping back and really going to what initially got me into video production and editing and filming. Just like the past few videos we have released, like the space shuttle video, for example, like I am so proud of those videos, and they're what I want to be creating. And it's just like on like the Q4 road trip last year's, those videos were like boom, 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 boom. But these videos, I'm very proud of them, and it just feels work that I'm like proud to show people. So yeah, finding that balance where I'm proud of my work, but also happy with still having a life is definitely what I'm trying to figure out right now. And we're getting there. It's definitely feel the best I have in some time.
Yeah, well, better is better, man. That's for sure.
And I think that we're all trying to get there is to try to find that, and some people were saying, well, Jared, you shouldn't have taken time with your wife for Valentine's Day. You should have been immediately up to, the Antonio Lopez. No, I still have a life of my own, and I already had plans. So, those of you that are here, you all understand and appreciate that. So I appreciate each and every one of you on that one. We had a couple of the trolls, and I'm learning not to read as many comments. I do have my sister-in-law that takes care of a lot of the comments. So please know that, she passes along, a lot of what it is that you guys are saying. And I'm really, please don't fault me, but I'm really trying to not read as much. And I'm trying to focus on these cases. What are the next ones that we're going to have coming up? And I'm trying to find that own balance of making sure I'm spending time with my wife, because try this, one of you, or just try this. Go try to read every single one of the comments on every single one of our videos that comes out, and it's just completely overwhelming. And then the replies that come in, and that comes into my email, and then I have, right now I have like 138 emails right now that I can't even get to. So I mean, it's just completely out of control. So thank you for that. Here's the other thing that people are asking for is a like spike and a subscriber spike. So here's the thing. Right now, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel right now, before anything else, hit that subscribe right now. Have they done it yet?
I don't know if they've done it. Did you do it? They didn't do it?
They didn't do it? All right. Anyway, please hit that subscribe button.
Like spike.
Yes. And also hit that like button. That definitely helps out our YouTube algorithm. And once this stream is over, also go back and leave us a comment on the stream. It really helps the entire algorithm. Without that, we could not be doing what is it we're doing here for you. In fact, we're not that far from 1 million.
Holy smokes.
I think that by the time Dan releases this video on Friday that's coming out with Antonio Lopez, I think that by the time the weekend is through, I think we're going to have a million.
Yeah, I think so.
And this is a celebration to each and every one of you. This is not a, hey, Jared made it to 1 million. No. Adventures with Purpose, you guys made it to 1 million. And it's not going to stop there. I have a really strong feeling that we're going to hit 2 million and 3 million and 5 million, and as long as we don't burn out. And that's
you're almost there, man.
Yeah, so we're at 986,000. So on that note, thank you. Dan, is there anything else you want to say this evening before we jump over to Mike?
Not really. Yeah, I'm just humbled to be a part of this and very hopeful you guys have good luck tomorrow.
fingers crossed. Yeah, well, we're flying tomorrow and then
Yeah.
tomorrow Wednesday. So, but yeah, you'll definitely be one of the first people that will hear, Dan, for sure.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you again for everybody. Bottom line, that's all I got. I got nothing else. On that note, we'll see you over on Mike's channel right now. Bye bye.